Oh, my beautiful golden helicopter. She's crippled like a wingless swan. Oh, as a boy I had a swan. Masha was her name.
Oh, God, shut up, El Presidente! Hey, that felt pretty good.
Shut up, the two of you. Preston, we need to set the bird down and repair it.
I can't believe Miss July hung up on us like that.
Wasn't her fault. The Army sold us out. I should have learned not to trust them by now.
Why would they do that?
Just leave us. Things probably got out of hand. And we are bad company, remember? Expendable assets.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Bad Company. We're here on what's essentially the helicopter mission.
Preston, get out and see if you can find a power tool to fix this chopper.
We won't be spending 100% of the time in the helicopter, but we will be spending, a sort of good portion of the time there. It's actually pretty fun. I find it sort of, well, it's not exactly challenging because a lot of the time you're not in any real danger in the helicopter, but it's certainly fun to let loose and blow some shit up for a while. It does look pretty good though.
Good job, Marlowe. Let's see if this flying disco ball can do anything. Take out those trucks over there.
So this is a very brief tutorial to get used to the controls. The controls are pretty good, seeing as you've got independent movement on both of the sticks. You've got your regular air-to-ground missiles here, and you can go into the cockpit if you want a bit more accurate of a shot. And like Haggard just mentioned, you also have a gunner seat, which will fire some pretty hefty cannon fire.
That's a lousy vehicle. Okay, no more practice for you. Let's get the hell out of here.
You're flying good, Preston. Now try to fly even better. Can't we put the chopper down and shoot these guys like we're used to?
We'll be spending this mission trying to make our way out of Sadaristan via this river here, and we'll be taking out any targets of opportunity that we see on the way along.
I'm afraid our cowardly flight will shortly end. In Valley next is located a bulk of Sidaristan military might.
Your whole army is in this gorge?
A great deal of it, yes. Unfortunately, it is no longer my army.
And there's no other way? I mean, can't we go around it?
No, I'm afraid we will all die. We'll hit their weak spots, give them something to worry about, huh?
As much as the President does worry, there's very little actually that will directly damage the helicopter. There's only a few sort of mounted AA positions. Most of the time you're just blowing up sitting ducks along, well, wherever you see. You can sort of have plenty of fun blowing up the buildings, because with the Frostbite's destruction you can actually do a fair amount of visible damage even from the air. The only things you actually need to destroy are pointed out on the radar though.
Let's shake things up a little. See those fuel silos up ahead? Target destroyed! One more to go!
Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the gunner seat. It doesn't tend to do any more damage than the main missiles, and you don't have the sort of flexibility of being able to move around while you're firing.
Yes, yes, the Legionnaire mercenary brought those. Good value for money, really. We take them out, we may have a chance.
You can see you can also use the destruction to your advantage by taking out bridges and the like. For some reason that AA gun took quite a while to blow up once it actually fell in the river, but it's a viable tactic.
There's the local garrison. Hit it! Spot some Russians!
It does tend to feel a little repetitive when you're just going through blowing things up. I suppose it mostly relies on you just having a little bit of fun after sort of, well, quite a fair slog through the previous missions.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, you such a good boy.
These are the AA guns, which are about the only thing which will actually attack you. I don't think there are any sort of ground-to-air missile launchers or anything, or any troops with any anti-air weaponry.
Look, mighty communications hub. Sedaristan was actually first with internet in whole world. Great for online dating.
Destroying it should make it easier for us further downstream. But I think you need to do it on foot, Marlowe.
They do kind of mix up the helicopter portions with getting out on foot like this. It's a little artificial. I'm not entirely sure why we can't just level the place from here. Not everything is underground, but it's fun to sort of clear out the area and then go in on foot to see the destruction that you've wrought. It's certainly a good idea to use a helicopter like that to kill anyone that you can, and then you can go in and actually, you know, have a bit of an easier time of it. There are still some people around though, so it's not exactly as if we're going to be waltzing in there. One thing that I think bugs out here is Haggard's movement. For some reason, every single time I play, he seems to just sit by the helicopter while you actually move into the place, even though he's supposed to be helping you. I'm not sure if just the navigation is bugged out or something else. You don't have to necessarily blow this APC up if you don't want to. It's actually fairly easy just to go into the building, complete the objective, and then just sprint back to the Apache and use that to blow it up. But it's always nice to get a little variety, so I figured I'd take it out myself. One of the things that isn't so good with the environments in this game is that the rooms inside the buildings tend to feel very copy-pasted and sort of without life. I know that they obviously had limited time and resources, but given how well they actually were able to replicate the same buildings and make them look good in different areas, you'd think they'd be able to do something similar with the actual rooms inside. There are only a couple of people waiting down there to ambush you, so it's not too much of a huge problem. If you go running in there with C4 out or whatever though, you can get caught with your pants down.
No! No more internet in Sedaristan! No! My love life is over!
Good job, guys. Now get back here.
And of course, you get off from the Apache just in the nick of time, as the troops are closing in around you.
We're done? Good. Let's keep moving downstream. And maybe we can get some more information out of His Excellency here.
The helicopter is actually quite slow at moving. You should be able to go a little faster, you'd think, but that's about as fast as it goes. I suppose it's just to keep you from just running away from every encounter, but still it does get a little tedious when you're moving from place to place with nothing really happening like this. I suppose one of the reasons why it seems so slow is because you're high up with no real points of reference. You don't really have necessarily a good sense of scale of what the area around you is like. This is the one area where you may actually be in danger of losing the helicopter. Around here there are a fair few AA guns, and if you're not too careful and you leave them for too long, they can actually eat away pretty quickly at your health. It is of course always possible to just run away, find a clear spot, land and use your repair tool. There's absolutely nothing to stop you from landing and walking around on foot all around here. It is just a normal level with you in a helicopter. For that exact reason, I go after the anti-air as soon as I can, and as soon as I can locate where the actual fire is coming from. Because if you just go for the trucks exclusively, then you'll quickly find yourself with no health and possibly not even enough time to get away. You'll hear Haggard firing off the gun in the gunner's seat, but I don't exactly know what he's doing. I've never seen him hit something, I don't think. I think it's something in the similar vein to where he's in the tank firing, that he's mostly just firing for effect.
Boats incoming! Yes, you know it's not a great sailing nation, but considering our only body of water is through its treatment plant. Not for much longer, it ain't.
I did mention before that it's kind of difficult to aim these missiles when you're flying in third person. That's why normally if I'm hitting something that's a moving target like that, I like to hop into the cockpit first.
What's that noise? We out of fuel?
We will crash to our deaths! No, I remember, there is fuel deposit in Verskaya, downriver, very close.
That area there, you sort of reach the edge of the combat zone. I haven't really mentioned this too much, but to restrict you to the gameplay area, there's a red portion on the map where you're not allowed to enter. For some reason, that area there takes a long time to update. And so if you're just flying straight forward, you'll fly into it and blow up and lose the mission. It's extremely annoying.
This is where we're getting the gas. It's self-serve and it doesn't look friendly.
Put the bird down inside. We'll get the fuel.
This is the last section on the level, and unfortunately we don't get to use the helicopter for it. It keeps us in the mood of actually infantry-to-infantry combat, and it keeps us from getting too complacent with our flying bird of death.
This'll do. Marlo, Haggard, you go find some fuel.
Alright, I gotta drain Big Jim and the twins anyway.
I think a fuel truck is what you should be looking for.
Sweets and I'll stay and defend the chopper.
And also protect VIP.
You're only alive as long as we can use you.
Very harsh.
Now, I find this section personally extremely difficult. Just the sheer number of people and the fact that it's entirely impractical to kill all of them makes it kind of tricky. You have these mounted machine guns that are nearby, but you can actually get insta-killed off them if you get hit with an unlucky missile.
Get the cover!
Now, I tend to like to use these just to clear out the main bulk of the enemy forces before we actually go around looking for the resupply truck. I'm not sure if the enemies are actually infinitely respawning in this bit. I think there might actually be a fixed number of them, but there are quite a lot of them scattered all over the area, so it's really not practical to kill them all anyway. One thing I find this game does do pretty well is impressing upon you that it's not just a game with a fixed number of enemies you can just clear out and move on to the next area. You do really need to, at times, just run and, try and get past without killing all of the enemies. It's 4, maybe 5 guys if you count the president against the whole army, so, that's a good feeling to have. can be kind of difficult sometimes to determine exactly where tracer fire is coming from. If you have a decent idea of where it's coming from, then you can sort of narrow down your view. But if you're expecting fire to be coming from all sides like this, it can take you a little bit to actually zone in on where you need to hit. Also, this is one of the very few times I think in the game where it's sort of justified why they have exploded barrels going all over the place. This is a fuel dump after all, so it's kind of what you'd expect. Now, you'll notice that there are actually 3 indicators on the map. Now, that doesn't mean we have to get 3 trucks, it just means that we have 3 trucks that we could pick up. The reason for that being that if you get one truck and it gets blown up, then you can still go and get one of the other 2. It's fairly generous because it means you don't instantly lose the game if you get an unlucky shot on the truck.
Get some of this!
Now, exactly for that reason, I'm killing everyone nearby, and unfortunately with a nice handy camera there, I didn't have much luck. But the truck seems to be in decent repair, and because I've killed most of the people along the way, I can get back to the helicopter fairly safely.
Okay, guys, get the bird refueled and let's get her up in the air.
I'll do it, Sarge. We'll be out of here in no time. Well, don't get me wrong, I want to get out of here too, but where are we going exactly?
Not to worry, around next bend is beautiful Polyolova National Bridge. It's named for my mother.
A bridge? A bridge to where?
Oh, to Russia.
To Russia? We don't want to go to Russia.
I am devastated to inform you that there is no alternative unless we want to stay in the vicinity of my once loyal troops. Speaking of which...
Oh, shit! Here they come! Package! You done? Oh, no.
What the hell was that? What did you do to the chopper, Haggard?
What? Wasn't me! Honest! I was filling it up and it just blew! You put the gas in there? That's the cooling unit! Oh! Well, excuse me for not reading gobbledygook.
Shut up, you two. Sweetwater, get this sorted. We're gonna hold this ground. Anything happens to the chopper, we're dead. Get to it!
I think I got it, guys!
This is just a sort of standard protect the king of the hill. I think the enemies here are infinitely respawning. I certainly don't think there's any kind of end to them, even if there is a finite amount. It's, you know, extremely large.
Nope, sorry, still not working.
And this is actually the section which I find the hardest. You have people coming from all over, and they'll be firing rockets and all sorts at you, so it's actually pretty easy to get caught and, well, pretty much die in one hit. Yep, that's exactly what I mean. I left that in there just to demonstrate how bullshit this section can be. I've restarted back from where we ended the cutscene, and this time I'm going to be a little bit more careful about what I'm doing. It always does seem a little unfair. I'm not a fan of realistic shooters if you can just die in one hit with really no warning like that. As a 90% health, and I don't so mind if I'm taking a lot of fire and it's up to me to actually try and get back into cover. But when you just die from a single rocket hit, then it's annoying, to be honest.
Bullseye!
Take cover!
Nope, sorry, still not working.
One of the reasons I think the rocket came in was because I was on the mounted machine gun, so I'm sort of staying off this time. The problem with that is that you've got a whole bunch of guys here, and without the mounted machine gun, you're actually going to find it difficult to get them all before they get up close to you. The President does actually pull out a pistol, but I don't think he actually shoots it. I could be wrong though. You can see that without the mounted machine guns, these guys are getting pretty close, so, well, in a sort of desperate bid, I'm hopping on this one and just hoping that I don't die.
Goddamn RPG!
The enemies do also come from an extremely wide range, so you're only going to be actually seeing about a quarter of the area that they can come from at any one point.
Is that it? That's what your army could manage?
Well, it's true the Shadaristan army is cowardly and badly trained, but over the years I have tried to compensate this with an excess of advanced hardware, as you can see!
Oh, god damn it, that's hostile armor! Sweetwater, you better quit dicking around.
But Sarge, I haven't had time to reset the...
I don't care. Let's go, now!
But if it's not working, then it's not... Shit, it's working! It's working!
Marlo, back to the chopper!
This is the border. We are leaving beautiful Shadaristan.
And this is where you're getting off.
For an exile, it is quite inadequate. I'm in need of further transportation.
Well, where we're going, you can't come.
Yeah? But where exactly are we going?
You got a short memory, Sweetwater.
I know. The gold. You're talking about the gold. But we don't know where they took it.
With all the mercs around here, I bet we can find out.
You are talking about the gold of treacherous legionnaire. I know where it is.
You know where it is?
Yes, of course. And I am sure we can come to some agreement.
Oh, yeah. You hear that, Sweet? Yeah. But I'd like to come to some agreement about the black chopper coming up behind us.
What? Shit! Marlo! Turn her around!